Hi, I'm Mark. This is my 2022 astrological review for Virgo Sun sign and Virgo rising. We start the year on the 1st of January, Jupiter moving into Pisces and into your 7th house. Now, Jupiter can teach you a lot. He's in your opposite sign, so you can learn a lot about yourself through other people. It's also a time to cooperate with others. It's not a time to go it alone because you won't achieve half as much. The more you cooperate and the more you invest in others, the more you'll get back out of it. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, so your network of friends and relationships will grow greatly. And it's also a good time to get involved or meet people from another culture or another country or another background. And this will help to give you experience of the world. Jupiter is a worldwide planet. It encompasses all. It's a great leveler as well. So it's good to converse and to get ideas and to work with other people. Any connection with the law, any consultations that you have to have with others, experts, these will all go well during this influence of Jupiter. We have one planet going retrograde in January and one planet going direct. Mercury goes retrograde and this is in your 6th house, so there could be complications or misunderstandings at work or with your daily routines. Communications might not be too clear. But on the 18th, Uranus goes direct. Now it may have felt over the past few months that you've been going over old ground and things have got stale and you've got bored. But now with Uranus going direct, especially as it's in the 9th house, which is the house of Jupiter, which is now in Pisces, there's a good time now to start to get things moving again. There'll be a slow awakening because Uranus isn't a fast moving planet, but things will suddenly get some urgency back into them again. You'll want to start making some changes and some transformations. On the 19th of January, there's another change. This time it's the moon's nose. They change sign in the house. Now the north node will move into Taurus, which is your 9th house, and the south node moves into Scorpio, which is your 3rd house. Now with the nose in this position, these areas of your chart will find tremendous growth. There'll be an intensity in these areas. Now with the nose, there's always a balancing act to be done, and with the 9th and 3rd house, it's balancing the spiritual side of the mind, the more philosophical side of the mind with the more mundane of the 3rd house. So try and keep these balanced as well. With the north node in the 9th house, there could be opportunities to travel. There could be opportunities again to learn about other cultures, other parts of the world. And this may either be through visits, and then it could be through the internet or reading about these places or meeting people that come from these places. But it's an exciting time. There's lots of things to do and there'll be lots of opportunities, and the nodes are your destiny, your way forward. So there could be changes, there could be doors open that lead you to a different path. February sees all planets going direct from the 4th. So this is a fantastic time now to achieve, to get things done, because there'll be nothing to stop you or hold you back. Full steam ahead. Then on the 1st of March we have a triple conjunction. Now this is between Pluto, Mars and Venus, and this happens in Capricorn, but this is in your 5th house. 5th house is the house of love. So love is definitely on the cards here. If you're in a relationship, you can find that there is a deeper, stronger love that develops at this time. If you're not in a relationship, it's a great time to meet a new love, and this will be a very intense and very powerful love affair. With Pluto, with Mars, there's great ambition. It's in the sign of ambition, Capricorn, so this is heightened, and you'll want to do set things ahead now, plan the things that you want to achieve. With Venus and Pluto, it's intense love, and it's also a good time to use your creativity, because you can use the 5th house to express these deep and intense emotions that you have. Mars will help with the creativity as well. Mars will help the visions of Venus to come into being. April sees probably the most frustrating aspect of the year. Mars comes up to Saturn. Saturn's in your 6th house of daily work and routines. So things won't go very smoothly around the 5th of April for 3 or 4 days. Mars coming up to Saturn is like driving a car with the brake on. It just won't move forward. So this is a time to step back, let things happen, and perhaps put energy into something different that will keep you calm, will not infuriate you or frustrate you. It's a good time to do exercise, but if you come up against a brick wall, make sure you either pull back or find another way around it. There is no point banging your head on the wall, because it just will not get you anywhere until this aspect has passed. On the 12th of April we have the best and most exciting aspect of the whole year. This is Jupiter conjuncting with Neptune. Now these are both rulers of Pisces, and this happens in Pisces at 23 degrees, and it doesn't happen very often. The last time this happened was in 1856. Now what will happen is there'll be a whole cultural change. This is a double whammy for creators and artists and industries involved in that, because this is such a creative time. This is the expansiveness of Jupiter with the imagination of Neptune. Now if you're a creator, this is a fantastic time, but for you Virgo, even if you're not, you will still be involved with this, because you will be involved with other people. This is all happening in your 7th house, so you will have direct involvement in the creativity that's going to come out of this. The other thing that will happen with this, it will change the consciousness of us as a race. There will be great change of heart. There will be more compassion that comes in. This will raise the spiritual energy around us, and it'll be a good time to heal the past. The last 2 years has been very difficult for us, and there's been so much loss, and there'll be a collective change that will help us to heal the past, and so we can move forward. Jupiter and Neptune come together at 23 degrees of Pisces, so this brings the 2 and the 3 together. So this brings knowledge with creativity, diplomacy and compassion. So this is fantastic. We also have these two adding up to 5. 5 is about change, it's about bringing variety into our lives. The last time this happened, in 1856, Sigmund Freud was born, and he made great inroads into psychology with his psychoanalytical theories. So this is the kind of things that can happen when these two come together. Now, we also have Venus coming together with these two at the end of the month. She will contact both of them. So with Venus and Neptune, this is more of a spiritual kind of love. This is a very visual happening, so it's a good time to meditate on the spiritual side. And then with Venus and Jupiter, it's good for finances and it's good for relationships. So all in all, this is going to be a fantastic month. On the 29th, there's another very powerful aspect when Jupiter makes a sextile to Pluto. Pluto's in your 5th house. This is a time when you need to use the power in a creative manner, so that you can manifest and make something. Even if you're not creative, it's a good time to just do something that will create or allow you to express yourself in a creative way. It's also very intense for love as well. Jupiter is how we relate, and Pluto is the power and intensity of how we put that into our relationships. So it can be a very intense time for love relationships. The other thing we need to do is use the power wisely, because it can get misdirected, and with Jupiter it can be overconfidence, it can be overpowering, so make sure you stay humble and you stay compassionate. April really is a busy month, and on the 30th we have our first solar eclipse. This is a partial solar eclipse, and this series of eclipses is part of the Saros 6th North series, and is renowned for bringing responsibilities, for bringing the need for new commitments, and also our relationship with authority figures. Now, with this eclipse being in Taurus and your 9th house, there is a focus on the higher realms, and this is opposed to the lower realms of the third house. So that's more mundane, that's more boring. You want more excitement now. So you need to generate some new and exciting things to do. This eclipse is conjunct Uranus, so Uranus will help you to make some exciting new discoveries and to plan things for the future, to give you that added benefit of growth and learning that the house of Jupiter brings. Now, we also have the added advantage of this helping your finances and your relationships, because this eclipse is ruled by Venus. In May we see Jupiter moving out of Pisces and moving into Aries, which is your 8th house. Now Jupiter will retrograde back into Pisces and come out next year into Aries again. So this is a little bit of a taste of what's to come next year, really. Jupiter in Pisces is very different. It's at home in Pisces, but in Aries it's much more aggressive, much more forthright. Aries is a fire sign, and there's a lot of dynamism of Aries being the first sign of the zodiac. So this is a time to try new things, to push forward and to be a little bit more daring, take the bull by the horns and make sure that you can put your energy into achieving. Now with the 8th house, it's about shared resources, so there could be benefits here with shared resources. This could be business and in personal relationships. And it's also to do with psychology. It's about you learning about yourself through others. It's about having a better understanding of the psychological patterns that go on not only around you but inside you as well. There is a total lunar eclipse on the 16th, and this is in Scorpio, but we have added complications because Mercury, a ruler, starts the retrograde motion on the 10th, so we'll be heading back towards the opposition with this eclipse. So this means communication will be very difficult during this time, and it could be that things get misunderstood because the eclipse is happening in the 3rd house of communication. So this is an added disadvantage here. So you need to make sure everything is very clear. This eclipse belongs to the same series as the one a few weeks earlier, so you need to pay extra attention because there may be responsibilities and commitments that you have to take up, but you need to make sure with while Mercury's retrograde that you fully understand everything and that everything is put clearly to you and you have complete knowledge of what you are taking on. Otherwise you may take on something that is not exactly what you thought. Now the eclipse in Scorpio is a very intense one, but it's also connected to the South Node. It's conjunct the South Node, so there is a deja vu feeling about this as well. You know, maybe things from the past that come up that you thought you'd dealt with, or past behaviour patterns that come up that have resurfaced and need dealing with. Neptune turns retrograde at the end of June and Jupiter towards the end of July. But on the 31st of July we have one of the most exciting aspects of the year. This is a conjunction between Uranus and the Moon's North Node. Now this aspect can open doors. This aspect can put you on a completely different path. Again, it's focusing in that 9th house. So this is what you've been looking for. This just brings some more excitement into your life. Something that's new and different. Something to take you away from the monotony of everyday tasks. Now, with this aspect, you need to be brave. This is why it's quite good with Jupiter going into Aries, because you have a bit more bravado, you'll have a bit more daring to do and try new things. The North Node is about everything unfamiliar, but it's the way we need to go. It's our spiritual way forward, and it's always a bit frightening, a bit scary. But this is a time to, with the help of Uranus, to try these new things and to look for that new path. On the 9th of September, your ruler Mercury goes into its 3rd retrograde motion, but fortunately it's going direct again by the time the next eclipse happens on the 25th of October. This eclipse is a partial solar eclipse in Scorpio, so it's in your third house, and it belongs to the Sarah 6 South series. And this eclipse brings opportunities to increase in power and use control, but use it for good. It's also renowned for bringing great strength within relationships. So this is a good time to perhaps use your Virgo skills of analysing and organising, because the third house is about the mundane, doing all those tasks that a lot of us find very boring, but you can apply yourself to. Now, this is also a good chance to gain power by doing this, by analysing things, and by perhaps bringing organisation into something that will give you more control. And within relationships, this could be within personal relationships, it could be in great strength manifesting here, or it could be within group relationships and activities. The final major astrological event of the year happens on the 8th of November. Now this is a total lunar eclipse. It's of the same series as the one in October, so it's a similar theme, but there's added complications with this one. Because of the eclipse has the moon conjunct Uranus, so this brings excitement and a chance for rapid and quick change. And that's also connecting to the North Node. Now, at the other end of the scale we have the Sun, and he's conjuncting Mercury, Venus and the South Node. So you can see there's a lot going on with this eclipse, but that's not all. Saturn squares both ends, so Saturn forms a T-square. So this eclipse, there's so much energy going around. It can manifest in lots of different ways. We have the power of the Sun in that third house in the mundane area, and we have the Moon and Uranus in that ninth house that demands excitement and new adventures and new things. But this is all trying to be limited and balanced by Saturn. So yes, there could be limitations from Saturn. Yes, there could be a lot of difficulties with Saturn is in that sixth house. So he could be holding you back. He could be stopping things from moving forward. The thing is to overcome this. And as we saw with the earlier aspect of Saturn from Mars, it can be done. You can find ways around this. Now, this T-square is very challenging, but there is a way that you can help to spread the energies so that they can fuse better together. This is by concentrating on the empty part of the cross. Now this is your 12th house, this is the unconscious area. So this is a good time now to meditate or bring yourself into a relaxed state so that you can deal with and perhaps see all the energies and how they're working out much more clearly, because you will be pulled in different directions. You'll have the mundane side, you'll have the more philosophical, religious, spiritual side, and they're all being balanced out by the demands of your daily routines and Saturn and the responsibilities there. So if you can use and focus your energy on the unconscious, on the 12th house, maybe this will help to disperse the energy so they're moving more freely, and will also help you better to understand what's going on. Thanks for watching the 2022 review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'd be glad to hear from you.